mystery is back, but are the Celtics the best team in the East?
Is LeBron still the NBA's best player? Duh. Who will win Most Improved Player? Can Harden repeat as scoring champ?
And what will be this season's hottest new fashion trend?
Part 2 of the Starters 50 Burning Questions starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to Part 2 of the Starters NBA season preview. I'm Jay Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tas Melis.
Thank you for joining us.
To his right, the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friend.
Lele. And last, certainly not least, down yonder, that's the bearded one. That's Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
Hey-yo! All right, we're continuing to tackle our 50 burning questions about the upcoming NBA season. If you missed part 1, well, you missed 10 questions. Go catch that on YouTube. But we got 40 cues to go here, so let's roll right in to question number 11 overall. It's a good one. Who is the best team in the Eastern Conference? Which squad is it?
It's got to be the Celtics.
Got to be the Celtics.
Yeah. Even though the Raps won 59 games and have Kawhi Leonard on their team, I think they had a better offseason than people are giving them credit for because Kawhi, I think, will be Kawhi again. Just look at that Celtics starting five. Just look at those five guys. They can all handle. They can all shoot. They can all pass. They're just so skilled with a great coach, with some continuity from last year. They had the best defense in the league last year. To go along with this great offense I think they'll have this season, and that was with only 4 returning guys last year.
The biggest question for Brad Stevens is trying to get everyone shots and everyone minutes.
Yeah.
Because last year they were obviously short-handed for so long, and they got to the conference finals and really just fell one game short.
That's a good problem to have, though,
fantastic,
because especially in today's NBA, someone's going to go down with an injury.
Yeah.
Hopefully not Hayward or Irving again, but someone will at some point.
And it is a good problem to have, but remember, everybody wants to go and get their minutes and gets their looks. A guy like Terry Rozier, who was very good for them down the stretch, he's going to take a big step back this year, so how he handles that is going to be a test of him and a test of Brad Stevens. But I agree with Tas. I think the Celtics are the best team in the East until someone can knock them off now that LeBron's gone west.
Yeah, I would agree. I do think that, though, that the Sixers could possibly make a jump. Just because they have so many young guys who are such key pieces for their teams, it really takes me back to, like, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They lost the first-round series once they got Ibaka and Harden, and then once those guys have been in the league for 2 years, Kevin Durant was in his 4th year, they went to the finals. You never know when guys who are this talented, this young, are really going to click and learn how to play well together. Fultz and Sarge are the keys. Those are kind of the Harden and Ibaka of this team, with Westbrook and Durant being obviously Simmons and Embiid. If those Simmons and Embiid take a step forward and Fultz and Sarge are able to do even more this year, I think it's possible the Sixers could end up the best team. We just kind of wouldn't see it coming.
Fultz has looked good so far in pre-season. He's obviously been working on his shot, stepping out.
He couldn't look much worse. I'm sorry, but he could.
No, but you know what was important? Actually, just seeing the confidence with him out on the court, which is really important because that shot looked so ugly last year. And if he can be the #1 pick that they thought they were getting in 2017, then that is a huge upgrade for that team.
With apologies to Bucks fans, maybe Pacers fans, even in the mix, it does feel like a 3-team race here, right? For the best team in the East. Celtics, Raptors, Sixers. I will make a case for the Raptors because I think if Kawhi is Kawhi of 2 years ago, well, then that's the best player from all of these teams. Hands down, that would be the best player in Kawhi. You know, you talk about the Celtics' depth. The Raptors are right there. This is still a deep squad. They have a lot of guys that can play solid minutes for them. A couple different looks we'll probably see from Nick Nurse, the new head coach. And, you know, we keep talking about a lot of times about, like, Tatum should take the next step. Jaylen Brown should take the next step. Well, why not some of these Raptors guys, too? You know, OG Anunoby, Siakam, Van Vliet even, right? These guys are young guys. You know, the one knock is they got a rookie head coach. What does Nick Nurse do with the squad? Brad Stevens already considered one of the best coaches, so that's a little plus there if you're in the column for the Celtics. But I think it's going to be a tight race there for the #1 pick. I don't think either of these teams is going to run away with it.
Yeah, I don't think the Raps are going anywhere after winning 59 games. I think Kawhi will be back to Kawhi, the 3rd best player in the league a couple of years ago. I think he just loves basketball too much to sort of just fade away. He's just such a good basketball player. And yeah, I agree. I think they'll have the best player in the Eastern Conference. It should be them and the Celtics to me. And I think a lot of people look at this Raps team and say, oh, they're kind of like the Hawks from a couple of years ago when they won 60 games. They had their chance last year and they're just going to fade away. But I think they're different now because Kawhi Leonard is there.
Yeah.
So they've got a sort of a rejuvenated core top of their roster instead of just running it back with DeMar and Kyle again.
By the way, Cavs forward Tristan Thompson, he might have something to say about all of these picks. They're still the Eastern Conference champs, the Cavaliers. Taken away from them. He's not wrong. Technically,
another few months.
He is not wrong. All right, let's hear from you guys. Jump on Twitter, #TheStarters with all of these questions. Our next one, it's an award-based question. who wins Most Improved Player of the Year. Let's just show you our picks right away and then we can break them down. We got 2 Pelicans here from Trey and Lee. Trey has Drew Holiday. Lee's got Julius Randle, the new Pelican there in New Orleans. Tass goes Miles Turner, and I go with Aaron Gordon. Some trendy Most Improved picks there. I think we would all agree. But let's start with you, Trey. I think yours is the most surprising. Why Drew Holiday for MIP?
Honestly, I would be surprised if Drew Holiday actually wins MIP this year. He's going into his 10th season. He would be the second oldest guy to ever win MIP behind Daryl 10 Cups of Coffee Armstrong. But after a really solid regular season, he came into his own in the playoffs last year. 23 points a game, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 51% shooting. His usage rate went up, and he really put himself back on the map, I think, as a guy who can be in the top tier of point guards. He's been a solid player early in his career. He was an all-star, but last year, seeing the way he played when the Pelicans were playing fast, it looks like he can make another minor jump. This would be a guy going from solid to star, and I think that's possible for Drew Holiday.
Solid to
playing
very
faster.
solid.
No, that's you. That's you. Stay out of here.
You go with Randall.
Yeah, I'm going with Julius Randle. I think this is a really good opportunity for him in New Orleans because he had a pretty good season last year for Los Angeles. 16 points, 8 rebounds on 56% shooting, but it was kind of lost because the Lakers were so bad. Now he gets an opportunity next to Anthony Davis to really highlight his skills. I think he's a good passer. If he can develop some sort of a three-point shot, then that really opens up his game a lot as well. So I don't think his numbers are going to jump off the screen like they were last year from 16 and 8, but I just think he might have more impact and more people might notice what he's doing on a team that should be in the playoff hunt.
All right, a couple good picks there with the Pels. I like Miles Turner of the Pacers to take a jump because he's been in the league 3 years. Had some injury problems last year. He has not lived up to expectations in a league that should be his. The league should be eaten out of the palm of this guy's hand because he's a big that can defend on the perimeter. He can shoot the 3-ball. He should, he's quick. He is an athletic big. That being said, he hasn't been right, and I think what's different from last year to this year, when I picked him to be most improved last year, is that he's getting cut. He saw what Victor Oladipo did last year and how he transformed his body.
It worked for him.
And Miles Turner, I think, just saw that and said, okay, I'm going into a contract year. Another reason why he could be most improved player. He got all cut up, and he saw what it takes to improve from Victor Oladipo. I think Victor Oladipo had a huge impact on that team, the way he just took control of that team. So I think Miles saw that.
Going back to back with the Pacers for most improved.
Sure.
Very, very. I'll go Aaron Gordon, as I said. It's sort of similar, I think, in ways to Turner. He just turned 23. He's going into his 5th NBA season. He's secured his bag. He got paid 4 years, $76 million during the offseason. So he's the face of the franchise for the Magic. And he had career highs in scoring and rebounding, assists and steals and all that, but his efficiency took a hit last year, so he's got to get that back. But you remember, the first 20, 25 games last year, he was on fire. And then injuries caught up to him. He had a concussion, then he had a calf sprain, he had a hip flexor. That really took, some shine off his solid start to the season last year. So if he can, come out of the gate hot again and keep that going, maybe even get the Magic sort of at least in the weird playoff race where that is the Eastern Conference. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's the East. Doesn't take a lot of wins. He might get some play there for most improved. I'd like to see him take it to the next step, and I think they expect that from him.
Well, they
obviously
give him
with the contract and just being the face of the franchise.
Because remember, they were kind of dangling him in trade talks as well.
Yep.
So it was quite a turnaround to then give him that big contract and say, we want you to be the guy who delivers for this team.
And he's playing the right position, which helps.
That's absolutely right. All right, next one here. Question 13 overall. Which player or team has the highest worst of the year potential? I turn to you, Tass. We hand out worst of the week every week, and then someone gets the worst of the year. Who's got the potential this year?
Yeah, the dishonor this year. Here are my top 3 picks. I think there's a few teams that could definitely take it this year. We'll start with the Washington Wizards. They had a tumultuous locker room last year, and then they added Dwight Howard and Austin Rivers to that mix. Could it be worse than last year? I don't know. I don't necessarily think so, but it could. There's a possibility. The Lakers, a bunch of characters, as we know, Lance, JaVale, Rondo, and this has already happened in the preseason. Look at Rajon Rondo on the bottom of the screen. This is the preseason. He's not letting other guys high-five. I think they'll be all right in the locker room, but this kind of stuff, you can win worst of the year for that kind of stuff. And the Sacramento Kings also get a vote just in case Vlade Divac decides, hey, we're going for it, and trades all his young guys for somebody in his 30s that isn't really going to help them. They could win worst of the year for that, and I could see Vladdy taking a chance. They've won it before, the Sacramento Kings have. 3 options: Wizards, Lakers. I don't think the Lakers are going to be bad in the locker room because LeBron will control that, but maybe on the court. And then the Kings for off-the-court front office stuff.
Wow, the Kings would be the first ever to win worst of the year.
Twice.
Because they won it a couple of years ago. Okay, so it's in play. Do you like one of those teams more than the other?
Yeah, I think the Lakers for me, but there could be some comedic genius out of that team as well. I mean, I think we're just going to see every day there's going to be something worth watching, whether it's in the locker room or on the court or on the team plane. Who knows?
Do you prefer calling them mud or the meme team for that Lakers bench?
I mean, I
Overall,
feel like
call
we
them
have a
mud.
little ownership over
Yes.
the meme team, but it's too good. It's so much better than mud to me. And plus, JaVale McGee came up with it. It's perfect.
All right, let's hear from you guys on Twitter, #TheStarters. Who do you think has that worst of the year potential? Who just screams it to you? We got to take a break. But when we come back, the burning questions, they continue, including whether LeBron is still the NBA's best player. Don't go anywhere.